part of St. Lawrence County on the Canadian border where the winters tend to be long, harsh, and cold, but people here are positive, friendly, and active.
It is a college town full of activities and attractions, surrounded by miles of recreational trails and rivers, as well as the nearby Adirondack Mountains.
The village of Canton is enduring with its close-knit community, where residents see friends and family everywhere they go. Also, welcome visitors of the university, the Adirondack Mountains, or just those passing through.
The charm and natural beauty of St. Lawrence County, along with the optimistic community, make it a deserving place to receive a glorious gift from the universe.
That gift is a spectacular solar eclipse, and the people of St. Lawrence County are very lucky to be in a narrow path of totality. Sixth graders from Canton Central School wanted to inform and share their excitement with their peers, neighbors, and community members so that we can all connect in awe and gratitude.
These youngsters are going to tell you about the history of eclipses, how eclipses occur, weather changes, animal behavior, and scientific research during an eclipse, as well as viewing safety and community engagement opportunities.
We hope everyone is outside on April 8th basking in the powerful emotions of gratitude,
Curiosity,
hope,
perspective,
humility,
and connections during this.
Get from our universe! Our first topic is the history of eclipses. The Earth averages about 4 to 5 lunar or solar eclipses per year, but the location and amount of visibility varies.
Sixth graders researched recent and not so recent history and found out some interesting perspectives and comparisons.
We'll be talking about the history of eclipses. The 2024 solar eclipse will differ from the last two eclipses in 2019 and 2017. In the 2017 solar eclipse, the path of totality started in the middle of the Pacific and moved to land in the northwest coast, and moved southeast and ended in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The 2019 solar eclipse started also in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, then traveled over central Chile and northern Argentina. This eclipse will start off the coast of Mexico, then travel northeast through the USA and into Canada, and then through the Atlantic.
Well, you're done.
No!
Another solar eclipse won't happen in this area for another 375 years, so I do recommend taking the time to see it. During this eclipse, the moon will be much closer to Earth, therefore a larger path of totality, and you can go here alone.
Finally, now solar eclipses have had some impact on history. For example, the element helium was discovered using a spectroscope, or a tool that lets you see the wavelengths of light that elements create when light is shown through them. And Christopher Columbus tricked natives into giving him supplies by predicting a solar eclipse. And when the eclipse happened, they were amazed, but he had accurate charts telling him the day already. Many cultures had stories of what was happening. Like in China, they thought a dragon was eating the sun. And in the Andes, they said it was a puma. And,
Well, it's my turn.
hey!
Sorry, eclipses have had effect on wars. Like in 585 BC, the Lydians and the Medes had been fighting for 6 years in a stalemate war, but suddenly the sky turned dark and it was an eclipse. And obviously we knew it was an eclipse, but they didn't, and they quickly made peace. So yeah, that's some history on eclipses. And remember, always learn. Why did we have to say that?
Because learning's good.
Yeah, sure. Alrighty,
Goodbye.
Nearly 120 years ago, by British magician turned filmmaker Neil Maggenstein captured the first video of the solar eclipse. This video is now world famous for the significance to scientific discoveries of the time. Since the corona can only be seen during a total solar eclipse, they got to see it for the first time on video. It is still important because we can see the difference between the eclipse then and now.
The next total solar eclipse in upstate New York will be on April 8th, 2024. But the one after that,
You'll have to wait until 2079, which won't be a total solar eclipse, and the next one, 2144.
or you could wait for another 375 years
in your area if you want to slip through that magical moment.
Hey, do you want to hear a joke?
Fine. Not this one.
Great. How does a moon cut its hair?
How?
The moon eclipses it.
Not again.
As you heard, there used to be some wild theories about eclipses, but we now know more about space.
We have some wonderful explanations and models to show you how eclipses occur.
Millions of people will encounter this awesome sight on April 8th, 2024.
You may not know how it occurs, so this is how. They occur when the new moon passes between the Earth and the Sun, creating a shadow over the path of totality.
Appears only 75 times in 100 years. In this area, it's a very rare occurrence.
This year it lasts for 3 minutes and 11 seconds in Canton, New York. And also in other parts of the world, it has a different amount of time for totality wherever you are.
Eclipses that pass over densely populated portions of the planet are rare. This explains why 2024 solar eclipse is so special.
Our moon is on average about 2,160 miles in diameter. The Sun is about 400 times that diameter because they are so far apart they appear to be the same size. For this year, the eclipse is total because the moon is closer to the Earth than past eclipses.
Model how a solar eclipse occurs. We have a lamp to represent the sun. This is the moon. My friend here is the viewer from Earth. Of course, the moon revolves around Earth and gives us the phases of the moon. This would be a full moon. And when the Earth is between the sun and the moon, that is a lunar eclipse. When the moon is between sun and Earth, it's called a new moon. This is when the side of the moon that's lit up is facing away from Earth, so we can't see it. Sometimes during the new moon, the Earth, sun, and moon line up just right for the moon to block the sun's light from reaching parts of Earth. This is called a solar eclipse.
I have a model to show how an eclipse occurs with the moon and Earth to scale by size and distance. The sun is not to scale because it would have to be too far away for our purpose. This is the Earth.
Right here.
The moon, and of course the flashlight is the sun. See, if we line up perfectly as the sun, moon, and Earth do during an eclipse, we can see how the shadow of the moon on the Earth It's amazing that we happened to get that shadow right here in Canton, New York.
The eclipse only occurs in 18-month intervals, but a total solar eclipse is once in a lifetime. We have to see how she's going to spend her solar eclipse.
Thank you. I am planning to spend my time with my husband and my 2 sons at home watching the eclipse. We live just a couple of blocks over from the St. Lawrence River, so I think we might head over that way because I heard you can get a really good view if you watch it from over the water. So that's my plan. Can't wait. It's going to be super exciting.
Thank you, Miss French today, and to ask her how eclipses occur.
Okay, I've always been scientific minded and became a science teacher, so of course I understand that the moon goes between the sun and the earth, and they line up just perfectly for that shadow to occur over the earth. But I also think about from sort of a spiritual or connection point of view, how it just seems like it can't be a coincidence that the moon happens to be 400 times smaller in diameter than the sun, and the sun is 400 times farther away from the earth than the moon. So they appear to be the same size in the sky, which gives us that totality that is amazing, and I can't wait to see.
Thank you. Does a total solar eclipse occur each and every new moon? It has to do with the moon's orbit. It's slightly tilted compared to Earth's. Most new moons trace a path through the sky that passes up near to, but not over, the sun. During the solar eclipse this year.
The path of totality is the path where you can see the moon is fully covered and you can only see the shine off the sides.
Mrs. Jones, on what she's planning to do for the eclipse.
For the eclipse, I'm going to teach my students about the eclipse and show them a brain pop also do an experiment to show them that the sun, the earth, and the moon are lying in the direct line. And then we are going to give them some information about how to wear the glasses and to be safe at home with their families.
Thank you.
It's Todd to ask how she plans to watch the eclipse.
I am planning on having my family over and some friends to watch it in my front yard.
Thank you.
You'd expect that daylight turning to sudden darkness can be confusing to animals and cause some changes in weather.
More on that coming up next.
Here are some fun facts about weather changes and animal behavior during the eclipse.
When an eclipse happens, the sky turns dark because the moon aligns perfectly with the sun and the moon blocks the sunlight.
When the sky gets darker, the temperature drops.
When this happens, animals think it's nighttime and start their night routines. Will chirp,
Chirp!
and owls will hoot.
Hoot!
Today we're going to tell you about what weather and animals do when a solar eclipse happens. Some unknown reporters observed birds falling out of the sky during an eclipse. Confused birds will go back to the nest and crickets will chirp because they think it's nighttime. Orb weaver spiders take down their webs when an eclipse happens. When it starts to get darker, mosquitoes come out and will bite you, so use bug spray. In Hopkinsville, an eclipse happened 10 minutes after totality had ended. In Hopkinsville, the air cooled by 4.4 degrees Celsius or 8 degrees Fahrenheit. It would take about 75 minutes to warm back up again. This happens because the wind gets faster and colder, making the temperature drop. The air tends to be drier at higher altitudes. At sites in the path of last year's total eclipse, the number dipped to 0. Can you tell me about the picture behind you?
Sure. I'm Mrs. Smith, and I live on a farm just outside of Canton. And I often watch animals moving around. And I've noticed how the turkeys, they group up at night and then they fly up and roost in the trees. And so what you see as a picture here are some turkeys roosting up in the trees.
Cool. Interesting. How do you think the turkeys will react to the eclipse?
I'm thinking that possibly during the eclipse, the turkeys are actually going to think it's nighttime. And they're going to do what they normally do in the evening. They're going to come group up and they're going to go roost in the trees. So that's my prediction as far as what they're going to do.
Amazing.
It's important to keep your eyes protected during an eclipse.
Here's how and why.
Eclipses have been going on for thousands of years.
For thousands of years, they did not use any protection for their eyes.
Recently, people have started using glasses to stay safe from the sun's ultraviolet rays.
Some people think they could use sunglasses to protect their eyes, but sunglasses aren't good enough because they aren't dark enough.
Solar eclipses are rare to see, but even more rare is a total solar eclipse.
An annual eclipse is not a total solar eclipse.
The moon doesn't completely block the sun because of course it is smaller.
Our April 8th eclipse happens to have the moon close enough to Earth to completely block out the sun.
It is not safe to take glasses off at any time during the annual eclipse.
It commonly causes eye damage.
But this eclipse, you can take your glasses off at totality because the moon will completely block the sun.
Be sure to put them back on when the moon moves through. You have 2 to 3 minutes to enjoy totality without glasses, depending on your location.
You have to make sure your glasses are ISO certified before you look at the eclipse.
This means a special organization called ISO makes sure your glasses are dark enough and cover your eyes so they don't get burned.
Hello world, or whoever's watching this. I'm here with Eric Barr, my father, and he teaches earth science at Hewlett. So, other people at other districts have been wondering what other districts have been doing for this total solar eclipse.
Okay, well, we at Hewlett have been excited since September, right? Knowing that this was coming up, we got the opportunity to hand out solar glasses to everybody in the school prior to October's partial eclipse. So we got an opportunity to educate students about that. Since then, we've had representatives from St. Lawrence University's astronomy program come in and give a presentation on what the eclipse is, what to expect, and safety when viewing. So we're all super excited to come up on April 8th, Monday, April 8th, next month, and hope for some clear blue skies.
Wonderful to hear.
These are like the type of glasses that you should get, and the code should be around here. If you don't use the certified glasses, it could burn your retina and cause temporary or permanent blindness.
We're going to show you how to make solar eclipse glasses into fun, personalized headpieces. You are going to need your eclipse glasses, a paper plate, colored pencils or crayons of your choice, and scissors or a knife. First, place the glasses on a simple paper plate and trace them with a pencil or colored pencil. Once you have done that, then carefully with your knife or scissors, cut out the slits on the sides. Remember, make sure you do not connect the base of your outline with the sides, or else it will not hold the glasses. So now that you have your slits on the sides, what you're going to do is you're going to take scissors and cut out the bottom piece without damaging the slit. Because if you do, then once again, it will not hold your solar eclipse glasses. Now, finally, you can decorate. Now, if you want to, you can cut off any side pieces that you want. As long as you do not damage the slit, feel free to do whatever you want. Now, what you do is you take your glasses and you slide them in to the slits you made earlier. Then, when you're done, you have stylish glasses to wear for the eclipse.
Another safe way to view a solar eclipse is using a pinhole camera.
We are going to show you how to make a pinhole viewer so that you can safely view the phases of the eclipse using a reflection of the sun instead of looking directly at it. First, take a piece of cardstock paper and cut about an inch in the middle. Now tape a piece of aluminum foil over the hole. Using a push pin or a tack, make a small hole in the center of the aluminum foil. Try not to move the pin around too much as you make the hole. You want to be as round and smooth as possible. Go outside on a sunny day and practice lining up the sun with the pinhole viewer, using a white piece of paper to project the sun onto it.
Normally you should see a round reflection, but when you see the pinhole viewer during an eclipse, you'll see a crescent out of the sun as the moon slowly goes in front of it.
Another fun option with a pinhole viewer is to use your name or shapes.
Guess what, guys? News shocker. This is an exciting time for everyone.
Especially scientists in collecting data and making observations they can't get any other time.
Research during your solar
Eclipse! Greetings, fellow humans! In this unit of the video, we will learn about the upcoming 2024 solar eclipse from two very special guests.
Today's guest, Mr. Dixon and Eileen O'Donoghue. And now, back to some facts.
You will also learn that a solar eclipse is a great time to study the sun's corona.
The sun's still pretty mysterious.
Mysterious.
Did you know that a solar eclipse happens once every 375 years?
Whoa, that's rare, guys. Well, we have two special guests waiting to speak.
Welcome, Mr. Dixon.
Welcome, Mr. Dixon, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Can you share some of your experiences from past solar eclipses and tell us how you first became interested in astronomy?
Okay, well, I actually became first interested in astronomy in third grade because we had a comet called Comet Kohoutek, and my teacher showed us pictures of Halley's Comet, and I couldn't believe that we could actually see this, and it turned out right at the last minute, Comet Kohoutek fizzled out, and we couldn't see it. And I said, I need to become an astronomer so that I could see that comet with a big telescope. So that made me fascinated. And then I was in 8th grade, and I looked through a book, and I found out that there was a total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024, right here. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. And just, not to give my age away, but in just 40 years, I was going to get to see a total solar eclipse. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And then when I got my driver's license, I found out that if I drove just under 2,000 miles, I could see this eclipse. And so I barely made it in time before the clouds parted, and I got to see this eclipse right here, which was a hybrid eclipse, very rare one. And I was lucky enough to get clear skies so that I could take some pictures of it. And I got my pictures in a magazine, and the magazine paid for my whole trip to go down and photograph the eclipse. So I was hooked then, absolutely hooked.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
What's your plan for viewing the solar eclipse? And do you have any suggestions for the general public in making the most of the experience?
I might be able to give you a tip or two. So my plan is I'm going to go close to Cranberry Lake, and my intention is to get right on the exact center line so that I can see it absolutely perfectly in the center for the most possible time. But you guys don't have to go down that far. We're in a beautiful spot right here. It's going to be just fine in Canton, New York. It's a beautiful spot to see it. And if it clouds up, some friends of mine and I are going to do that trip again, and we're going to run towards Texas and try to get into the clear skies so that we don't miss it. Because you don't want to miss this. It is the most spectacular thing in the world. There's two other things that are close to as spectacular. I saw a space shuttle launch right in Kennedy Space Center. That's amazing. And then I've done a lot of skydiving, and I one time saw a circular rainbow when I was falling, and I went through the cloud and I opened my parachute in the rain. All three of those things are about equal to each other. The eclipses are that spectacular. So here's my suggestion for you. Don't rush it. Get out there sometime around 2:30. Start watching with your safety glasses. I didn't bring the safety glasses, but you know what? You can't look at the eclipse until it's total without those. And watch the sun start getting a bite, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when it gets really big, look around on the ground. Or, I don't know if you guys are going to make these. I hope you will. Make little pinhole things of your name. And if you have little pinholes, all you do is take a little pin, like a bobby pin, poke holes in this, and you show it up like that, you'll see the eclipse of the sun. Your name will be all little crescents, exactly made from what the sun looks like. It'll be on the ground. So you'll have your name on the ground in little eclipse shadows. And then just before the eclipse happens, it's amazing. You're never going to forget it, ever. The sun's going to get a big bright flare at the last bit. Wait for that flare to go it's called a diamond ring, because guess what it looks like? Yeah, a diamond ring, yeah. And so then you pull down the little shade and you're going to be amazed. You're going to see Venus over here, you're going to see Jupiter over here, and maybe for the first time of anybody ever alive, there's a comet that's coming in, and it might be visible. And it's right by Jupiter. And you might even see Mars, and you might even see Mercury, and you'll see some stars around there, and there'll be streamers coming out of the sun of the corona. And you know what's going to happen to people around you? I'm not making this up. There are going to be people crying because it's so amazing. So amazing. The last eclipse I went to was 2017. This person I went to, she said, "You're joking. You're joking. People don't cry." And so then the eclipse got done. I look over and she goes, "Oh my gosh, that was so amazing." She was crying like crazy. So pick out in the audience who's going to be crying. Somebody's going to be crying, I promise you. Promise you. It's amazing. You guys can't miss it.
Thank you for your time.
I'm happy to be here. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. And now, we have an astronomy professor to hear from.
Hi, I'm here with Eileen O'Donoghue, okay. The astronomy professor at St. Lawrence University. She's here to talk about the upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. So Eileen,
yes,
how did you get into your field of teaching?
I was just very excited by nature. I loved nature. And initially I didn't care much for science in school because all we did in the science classes, we dissected frogs and we, memorized the phyla, and it was just lectures. I found the lab kind of alienating, the black tables and stuff. So I didn't care for it, but in college I took an earth science class. And I was living in the Rocky Mountains. I was in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. And it was I could walk out of my classroom and see there was the stuff we were talking about in geology class.
Right up
and
there.
It was so fantastic. And I just fell in love with science. And then I had to take some math, and so I took math and decided I really liked math. And then I took physics, which put math and science together. And so I decided to become an astronomer because that kind of put it all together.
Okay.
And I just do it out of a love of nature and a love of the universe.
Well, look at that.
Cool.
So, I got another question for you.
All right.
Why are people and scientists so excited for this solar eclipse?
Well, a solar eclipse is just a magical event because the moon's shadow is very tiny. It's only about 100 miles across on the Earth. And so to be in that thin line of the shadow is very exciting for all of us who live on the path of totality. And for scientists, it's a chance to see a part of the sun that we never get to see. And it's called the corona, which is the outer atmosphere of the sun. And the sun and all stars are essentially nuclear explosions contained by gravity. Gravity is kind of trying to pull them in, and the explosion in the middle is trying to blow them apart. And so they're very dynamic, balanced things, stars. And so the corona of the sun is the outer atmosphere of the sun. It's all these particles that the sun is blowing off its surface all the time at about 1,000,000 miles an hour. And so only when the moon covers the disk of the sun are we able to see that outer atmosphere? Because it shines, but it's so dim compared to the face of the sun that we never get to see it. And a total eclipse of the sun is our opportunity to see that part of the sun's atmosphere. And so it's very exciting.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
So I got one more. Okay.
All right.
What do you think we're going to learn about the sun during this eclipse, or just about space? Really?
Well, we learn about the sun's current conditions. And the sun goes through cycles of activity. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's very active and there are lots of sunspots, and we get actually blobs of plasma that just get launched off the surface of the sun due to twisting magnetic fields within and above the sun. And so this time we're coming into one of the higher activity times. And so this glimpse of the sun right now will tell us something about what the activity is like, and it might help us to know whether we're going to have some good auroras or not. And so it will tell us about the corona. And also, there are a lot of studies going on, and I know St. Lawrence is participating in the biology study where they're using microphones and videos to see how the animals respond. The wild animals and domesticated animals, see how they respond to having darkness in the middle of the day. The birds respond. You know, roosters can crow and things like that, dogs bark. And so they're looking at the biology along the path of totality. And so also there's atmospheric studies that along the path of totality, it's a much denser shadow than the densest cloud shadow you've ever been in. And you know, sometimes the clouds are really dark.
Yeah.
But this is going to be even darker. And so how does the atmosphere respond to this little pencil of dark shadow going along? So there's lots of different studies that happen.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
there you have it.
It's a big event.
Yeah.
Go out and see it.
It's actually going to get in the edge too. And where in the world are we? Are we on that path? Let's see. Uh-oh. There we go. Yep, we are right here. Right here, approximately the O and N. So this is where Canton, New York is. So we are lucky enough to be on this path. Now, what does it mean to be on the path? It means that we are actually going to experience to have the sun completely blocked out. Slowly up the path. Okay. So this is what's going to happen is a shadow from the sun and the moon is actually going to be projected onto us here in North America. And we'll stop over Cam for a second. Stop. Okay. We have how long to see this shadow? So we're going to look up. If you look up from here, if you happen to be in Canton looking up, and we're going to get it right there. Perfect. Right there. I can see glowing parts around the sun.
We are interviewing Mark White. He has been waiting for this moment since he was a teenager. We are here with Mr. White. As a person with a science background, what do you look for during an eclipse?
Well, first of all, any eclipse works best if we have clear skies, and that's our big hope is our next eclipse coming up here on the 8th is that we have clear skies. After the clear skies, that is we're going to basically start the eclipse by watching the moon slowly cover over the sun and basically using safety glasses, obviously, for that. We're also going to use pinhole viewers, and we're going to be able to project the image of the sun onto whiteboards outside so students will be able to watch the progression as the moon moves over top of the sun.
People all across the path of totality are getting ready to look for this eclipse.
What are scientists looking for this year?
I've researched many things during the past solar eclipses.
For example, during both the 2015 and 2017 eclipse, scientists observed cool blobs of gas and hot plasma in the outer corona.
The blobs somehow maintain temperatures as low as 20,000 degrees Celsius, which sounds hot, but not compared to the temperature of the sun's corona at 3.7 million degrees Celsius.
Researchers on this topic told Science magazine that their team was very surprised and that the stunning thing is that they survived.
These results can help scientists plan for future research.
Scientists are very busy during an eclipse.
Canton Central School is involved in a nationwide positivity project with a focus on building relationships and recognizing positive character strengths in ourselves and others. This has been proven to bring peace and happiness for individuals and groups.
So, our final topic is for you and only you, and how to make the most of this awesome experience by getting in touch with others to share the excitement and make valuable connections.
The 2024 solar eclipse, you can get involved by attending the Frederick Remington Art Museum. This museum will be hosting open galleries and fun activities before, during, and after the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. The Remington Museum will be open for extended hours on both Sunday and Monday, April 8th. Activities will include eclipse-themed art-making projects for the whole family, RV tours, sketching in the galleries, a fire pit on the museum patio, and more. The Eclipse Fragrance Festival on April 6th to 8th for $5 in Potsdam, New York. Experience guided leisure hikes on their 160-acre farm in the Adirondack foothills and candle making classes in their farm factory.
Hello! These are some of the things you can do to prepare or watch for the solar eclipse in St. Lawrence County.
These are some things you can find for the solar eclipse at the Brewer Bookstore.
I'm here at the Brewer Bookstore, and these are some things you can find for the solar eclipse. They have these glasses that says Eclipse glasses safe for solar eclipse viewers. They have these cool April 8th, 2024 eclipse magnets. They have totality chocolates, and they have a New York total eclipse guide.
We're back again! And these are some of the special events going on before and for the eclipse. At the NCCM, or North Country Children's Museum, there will be a total eclipse viewing event on April 8th, and it will be held at the Garner Park near the Children's Museum's parking lot. Jacob will be interviewing Mr. White about the solar eclipse and what they are doing at Herman DeKalb, and here's the video.
I'm here, Mr. White, the superintendent of Herman DeKalb School. What is your plan for your school and viewing and celebrating the eclipse?
Our plan is to start school late, so we're not going to come in until 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we're going to have lunch, and then we're into outside activities which have to do with the eclipse. We have a variety of things from we have a vending trailer coming, giving away eclipse stuff, and are also going to have a variety of races through the solar systems. We have a little activities for the students, the older kids. We're actually going to have music. It's going to be like a festival atmosphere, so we're going to be doing that outside from about 1 o'clock till about 2:30. Then at 2:30, the parents of all the kids are going to join us on the soccer field, and we hope to have 1,000 people out there waiting for the eclipse. And then during totality, obviously, and then after that, we're going to keep the kids until closer to about 3:30, 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, then we'll release the students. Hopefully the traffic won't be too bad, and they'll be able to get to home safely.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
There will be a party at the White Silo in Canton, New York. The party will be from 12 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. For adults, it costs $40, and if you are 5 and 15 under, you can get in for $15. The address is 5355 County Route 27. Another cool event is a total eclipse of the arts paint class. It is Sunday, April 7th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. You can go there and paint a beautiful picture of the eclipse. This event is in the Potsdam Trinity Episcopal Church. It costs $40 per person to enter. Another party is in the Book Your Eclipse. It is in the Magic Public Library on April 8th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. You can go and enjoy a special story time and view the eclipse. Admission is free, and everyone will get a free pair of eclipse glasses.
The eclipse is a great time to connect with others. If you think about it, it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of people.
which can bring people together to celebrate. And doing these events with other people can make you happier and appreciate the eclipse more.
And those are some of the engagement opportunities in St. Lawrence County.
Hope you have fun and stay safe.
And there you have it. The eclipse is coming.
But don't forget to have fun.
And be safe. Can't see a thing.
We'd like to thank the Society for Science for the telescope, glasses, and resources to help us make this experience special. Awesome.
Thank you.
We'd like to express our appreciation to everyone who made this video possible.
A special thanks to Mr. White, Mr. Dixon, Professor O'Donoghue for their expertise.
We are also grateful for the parents, teachers, and administrators who took part in or supported the production.
Finally, a big shout out to the 6th graders who researched their topic, wrote their scripts, and produced their segment to the final documentary.
We are reporting from the center of St. Lawrence County and in the path of totality with a final wish to everyone for a happy and safe solar eclipse experience.
Have fun!
Behavior during the eclipse.
Hold on.
Okay, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to stop you.
The eclipse is coming.
But don't forget to have fun.
And be safe. Can't see a thing.
Did you know that a total solar eclipse happens every 375 years?
Whoa, that's rare. Well, we have 2 special guests waiting. Let's to hear them speak.
And now we have an astronomy professor to hear from.
Annular means that the moon does not cover the sun fully.
Oh, wait a second. Listen, 5 out of 100 eclipses are hybrid ones.
One day, someone came to talk to us about eclipses, and he told us that about how people thought the world was ending in ancient times.
And then we pause there because we're pull a different shot.
Go to brandon.com.
You can also go to St. Lawrence Bookstore for... Go.
Am I asking first?
Yes. Wait, no.
Researched many things during the past solar eclipses.
Wait, we have to have some science.